record on this computer. So please, if you are joining us, try to put your computer on mute so you don't disturb the program. So, like I said, I want to welcome you all once again. This is like the opt-in time. I'm saying that. I'm welcoming you all to this global bootcamp on how to find scholarships to study abroad on scholarships and in the best universities in the world. So this is an investment in your future. It's an investment that will help you take advantage of the opportunities in today's modern world. So what's the idea behind this training? The idea behind this training is to give you sort of the nitty-gritty, a no-holds-barred nitty-gritty expose on what postgraduate scholarship hacking is all about, using a system that works, using a system that has worked for not just myself, but has worked for dozens of scholarship winners that I've assisted. And coming together with this package is an opportunity for 2 free one-on-one consultations. I would have one-on-one consultations with all that have invested in this bootcamp. I will also have free personal statement reviews for your next 3 scholarship applications. As you would find, the aim of this is to get you the fastest path to getting a global scholarship. Now, I'm sure you probably have had different type of trainings. You've watched trainings on YouTube about how to find scholarships, and there's a lot of information out there on the internet. Yeah, but what most of those information lack is actually whether or not it works and how many people has it worked for, and also this personal touch of one-on-one. Because most times people tell you need to do this, but how do you do it? Is there a platform? Is there someone that can hold your hand from where you are right now to where you should be? That's winning the scholarship. A straight line kind of system to winning the scholarship. That's what the global Pathways to Global Scholarship Bootcamp is all about. And I'll try to make it as interactive as possible. I will also take some questions. But for today, today is the first day of the bootcamp, so we'll be giving ourselves a kind of bird's eye view of what is involved. But before we proceed, I would like to tell you a bit about myself. I'm sure if you don't know me or you don't know 1 or 2 things about me, you probably would not be taking this training at this moment. But for the benefit of the people that are just hearing about me for the first time, my name is Yusuf Alimi. I'm a veterinary doctor. I qualified in Nigeria just a few years ago from Ahmadu Bello University. And upon graduation, for me, being a veterinary professional suddenly took a new meaning, because I found myself on graduation day, on oath-taking day, that's what we call it, induction. I found myself asking myself, what do I want to do with this degree that I'm just getting? And then the first thing that came to my mind, the line that hit me the most, was the line about the continual improvement of my professional knowledge and skills. That line in the veterinary oath that challenges all veterinary professionals to take control of their future, take control of their education, and be all they can be. And in the process, make a difference in the world, make a mark in the world. So for me, it was about the continual improvement of my professional knowledge and skills, because I realized that even though my university, Ahmadu Bello University, had given me so much, there's still a lot I did not know. I had a lot of deficiencies. And when I was in school, I was asking myself, a veterinary student in Cornell, what do they know that I don't know? So I tried to see how I can bridge the gap. And I told myself that the only way to bridge this gap is to travel the world, learn in the best institutions of the world. But of course, I didn't have the funding. I didn't have the money. My parents could not afford it. I knew that my parents could not afford to send me to the universities that I wanted to go to. So I decided on that day to seek scholarships find scholarships and win scholarships that would take me across the world to study. And that is why I started calling myself the academic tourist. And of course, with that, I also decided that I was going to be a global citizen. Now, this picture you are looking at is a picture that I took with a very beautiful bovine mistress in Netherlands, on a dairy farm in Netherlands. And that was one of my academic sojourns. And my academic sojourns has taken me across the world to the United States, to the United Kingdom, where I currently am, and also to various countries of the world, including, of course, the Netherlands. So why am I telling you all this? Everything I have done in my education globally, internationally so far has been by getting one funding or the other. I have not spent anything out of pockets. And so far, I've gotten a master's degree from the University of Edinburgh. I'm currently doing a PhD at the University of Manchester. I have taken various trainings across the world in different parts. From it, this was a dairy reproduction training in the Netherlands. So my experience personally in shopping for scholarships is all that I'm bringing into this training, and also my experience helping various dozens of veterinary professionals, human medics, and pharmacists to get scholarships across the world in leading global universities. But today is not the day where we talk too much about people's stories. I'm sure you care less about all these type of stories. You really want to know how this affects you and how this can change your own life. So that is why we are having this boot camp, because it is all about you, not about me. But I just felt it's good for you to get a bit of why I am qualified to talk about this and why I am qualified to guide you on your journey to getting a leading global scholarship in the shortest possible time. So who is this training meant for? This training is meant for you if you are an early to mid-career health professional. What I mean by early to mid-career is you probably just graduated today from school, or up to 5 years of graduation, where that phase in life where you are still thinking about where you want to go and how you are going to make your mark on the world. We all have been through this stage. I remember just a few years down the line, I was in your own shoes, where I was thinking about the future. I was thinking about the strides I was going to make, the kind of further education I was going to have, and how I was going to make it work. So as an early to mid-career professional, health professional, whether you're a pharmacist, you're a medical doctor, or you're a vet, you are at that stage where you really need whatever decisions you make today can have serious implications for your future. One of my professors and mentors once told me that the first 5 years of your life after the university will be the most important phase of your life. These are career defining moments. And so whatever you would be, a whole lot of it will be tied to what you do within the first 5 years of your graduation. So if you are a young, early career to mid-career professional, and don't mind my use of the word young. Young is relative. Youth is relative. Youth is in your mind. If you have just 0 to 5 years experience and you want to study abroad on scholarship in a leading global university, this training is what you should be taking. I've put there talking about above average grades. And well, I feel this doesn't really apply to us much, because all health professionals graduate with above average grades, because if you don't have above average grades, you probably will not have graduated from vet school, from pharmacy school, from so at least if you have a grade of 60% or so, you stand a very, very unique chance of winning a scholarship. And that will be the thesis of my discussion today. Are we together? If we are together, please let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat by saying yes, you're following. You're following. So why does this training matter? This training matters simply because in today's Nigeria, or in the world generally, everybody fancies themselves that they can get a scholarship. Every Emeka, Garba, every Doshima or Lainka or Inkiru, she's looking for a scholarship and she feels like, okay, she can get a scholarship to study abroad. I started my discussion by telling you that, yes, getting a scholarship abroad is the smartest thing to do, is what you should be doing. But because of this, because of this statement or this position, everybody is saying the same thing to everybody, that you can get a scholarship. So every Emeka, Garba, Amina, Lainka, or Doshima is thinking, yes, I can get a scholarship for obvious reasons. I want to study abroad, especially now if you consider that Nigeria is going through a whole lot at this point, and everybody wants to travel out because they see it as a way out of the problem that is going on. Every young person feels like, okay, if I can get an opportunity to go to Canada, Australia, United Kingdom, my life is going to change. I might get a job, most likely I will get a job and stay back, and I will not come back again, so I can take care of my family. So everybody wants to jackpot. I'm not judging you if you want to jackpot, but I'm just saying that this training, even though you hope to travel abroad using your scholarship, and you want to get a scholarship, you still need a method that is proven and that consistently works. You know, if a lot of information, like I said, out there about finding scholarships, a lot of those information don't work. A lot of the people that are talking to you outside just want to get your money. Agents want to get your money. A lot of educational agents, they tell you they can get you 75% scholarship, 50% scholarship. It's all lies. So you have to really, really figure out what works and what does not work for you. And so that's why you need a method that is proven and that consistently works. And in this training, for the whole of this bootcamp, I'm going to be emphasizing on one particular method that I have done the research, I've worked, I've consistently used, and I've also used it to help other people to study in leading global and prestigious universities. So on that note, so my one vital question to you is this: if everything depends on winning a scholarship to study abroad, if everything depends on winning a scholarship to study abroad, what is your fastest path to the money? Like I told you, I've over the years of applying for scholarships for about 8 years, of getting numerous rejections and finally hitting the jackpot and learning how to win scholarships and being able to win at least 4 prestigious scholarships of my own and helping dozens of other students, vet doctors, pharmacists, and medical doctors to win scholarships. I was able to design my own method, and I call it the unlock method. But that's my answer to this question. I believe and I'm convinced wholeheartedly that the fastest path to winning any scholarship is known as the unlock method. Using this unlock method, which I will discuss with you over the course of this bootcamp, you will learn how to unlock what is already in you. That's why the name is unlock. The idea is to unlock what is already in you, not to bring something that is not yet or that you don't have, or to conjure up images or things. There's something about you that is peculiar. There's something about your story that positions you as a unique candidate for any scholarship. And this is not motivation. This is the truth. And the reality, as you find out, is that it's not all scholarships that you should be applying for, but there are scholarships that are specific, that are a bit peculiar to your own circumstances, that gives you an edge naturally by virtue of who you are, what you have done, and even your grades. There are some scholarships that can position you. So if you keep applying for everything, because vet doctors say they want to be masters of all, if you want to be a master of all, you will fail woefully. But if you choose to use the unlock method, the idea behind the unlock method is to niche down, to know yourself, to unlock a few things about your story and tweak it to suit a particular opportunity. That's the overall bird's eye view, but I will be going deeper in the course of this training. So at this point, I would like to ask you a few questions. You might want to answer in the chat if you feel like sharing. Have you applied for a scholarship before? If you have applied for a scholarship before, say, yes, I have, or yes. Just type yes in the chat, let me know. If you have applied for a scholarship, if yes, what was the outcome. So if you want to say yes, successful, yes, or successful, just type in the chat. I can see somebody said yes, yes. Dauda says yes. Um, Other people are not yet. Okay, I can see more people are saying unsuccessful, yes. So yeah, there are two ways to any scholarship. It can be successful, it might not be successful. But the idea behind this training is that it gets you closer and faster, using the fastest method you can get to a yes, to a congratulatory message. That's the idea of our training. So if you haven't applied for a scholarship, because I know that I got a lot of messages from 600 level veterinary students, 500 level people that are just starting out, and they said, oh, they must be part of this training. And I said, no, this training is only for early career people. But they insisted and they paid, and they got their mentors to also pay for this training. And I said, fine, if you insist you want to join, you can join. So I'm sure there are some students here. I don't know if they have logged in, or maybe they will join, they will be watching the replay. But I heard, and I know for a fact that there are some people that have not even attempted to apply for scholarships. So I would say to you that this is a very good start for you. This training will break everything down to you, will also hold your hand to see how you can get the fastest path to the money. If no, the question was, does your future include studying abroad on scholarship? So if your answer is yes, because you are the one that knows where you want to go. Yeah, so for Mohammed Saidu, he's yet to apply for scholarship. But if you believe that your future includes studying abroad on scholarship, then this is the right place for you to be. And I know this is a bold statement to make, but it's also a true statement. Yeah, so the course, as you must have heard me reiterate over time since I started this talk, the thing is that rejection is actually a reality of any scholarship application. Anybody that is telling you that rejection is not a reality is actually lying to you. Anybody that is telling you that if it's going to give you a method that will be 100% sure that you will not get a rejection, then that person is lying to you. But for me, personally, I've gotten loads of rejections, and my email is a testament to that. But I want to say that for me, I found a way to turn those rejections into a fuel, into my own, something to fuel me. I was also able to learn lessons from each of my rejections, and then I used that to move forward, And so the idea is learning for every opportunity and creating your unique positioning that will make you land your own scholarship within the fastest time. So that's why I mentioned here, have you suffered the pain of rejection, scholarship rejections in the past? How did it make you feel? Rejections are not good any which way. There's a lesson to learn in rejection, but it's also very painful. It's a painful experience. So I would say the idea is, how can we limit or minimize to the barest minimum rejections or repeated rejections? And for many people that have not applied, or that always try to dodge applying for scholarships, some of them might be suffering from something I call scholarship applicaphobia. So it's a phobia, the fear of applying again, because I have applied before and they told me I'm not good enough. So you have that fear of not applying again. This is what many people grapple with. And some people have not even applied before, but they heard that applying for scholarships is so difficult and so hard. Oh, they will tell you no. How is it only me? How can I be the one that they will select out of the whole world? So many people say no, and they just, because of not even trying, they hold themselves back in their head. And this has happened many times. I've seen it many times. And let me tell you at this point, let me tell you one brief story. And this is not even about graduates. This is about veterinary students. So in 2017, I was a lecturer at the University of Abuja, and I was teaching physiology to 200 level veterinary students. And I came up, I told them that, oh, I saw an opportunity online, the World Veterinary Association Scholarship. You guys can apply, because I've always been a scholarship enthusiast. I said, you should apply. It's $5,000. This can change your life. The students were like, oh, sir, how many people would they choose? I said I think they would choose only 45 people across the world. So how many people from Africa? I say, I don't know, but possibly maybe like 10. They said, How can they select out of the whole Africans? They'll select 10 people and then I'll be the ones to be selected. I say, see, you don't believe in yourself. I kept on talking to these children. From when the deadline was 3 months to when the deadline was like a week, only one student, towards in the last week after my sermon, again after a lecture, one student walked up to me and he said, sir, I want to apply for this scholarship, but I need help. I don't know anything about this scholarship. I don't know how to apply for scholarships. I've never applied for a scholarship. I said, fine, that's not a problem. I'm going to walk you through the whole process. I'm going to help you. So, and the questions they were asking were questions that will make you go into your story and find out, a few things. There's no scholarship that is easy to get. It's something you have to go deep into you and bring out, unlock that thing that is inside you. That it could be in your story, something you have done before. If you don't really take inventory, if you don't pay attention, so the scholarship application is even a process of knowing yourself better. So when I started talking to him, the guy was thinking that, oh, as a 200 level student, he has not achieved anything. There's nothing he can talk about. But lo and behold, I think 6 months later, I was in the Netherlands and I received an email from my student, this same student, that he has been selected among 45 people in the whole world, only 10 African students and only 2 Nigerian students. So from a university as obscure as the University of Abuja, for the first time, we produced the World Veterinary Association scholarship scholar, $5,000. This was a student that had never seen even $1 notes in his life, but he was able to get $5,000 paid directly to his domiciliary account. How life-changing, how interesting. This is what overcoming scholarship applicophobia can do for you. And I watch that student now, I see him, his life is changing day by day, and I see how open he is to more opportunities, open to more possibilities, because he knows that this thing can happen, and this thing has happened. It has even happened to him. So if you haven't gotten a scholarship, or you have not seen somebody that has gotten a scholarship, it might look strange to you. But to be honest, these are things that are possible. So I will be discussing a bit about this thing called scholarship applicophobia and how you can overcome it. So what's your scholarship story so far? Some people, like we said, have applied. Some people have never applied for scholarships. Some people are scared of scholarships. Some people have been rejected. What does it really take to send in a very good scholarship application? Of course, many of us by now should know that there are a lot of essays you need to write, a lot of things called personal statements, motivation statement. There's a whole lot that goes into writing those things, and what makes one excellent and makes one not excellent. There's a whole lot of things that go into it. But the important thing is this: what we should know at this stage is that good applications don't get selected. Only excellent applications get selected. Like if you don't send in, if you think you have written something good enough might not win, because you are applying in the midst of many people from across the world that are equally talented. So the issue with a global scholarship in this case is that you are competing in some cases with people from different countries, like India, like China, like more heavily populated areas of the world, where people are also struggling for a better life, and they see this scholarship as a way out. So how do you stand out? A good enough application will not do it. Excellent applications will. So what exactly is a winning scholarship essay? A winning scholarship essay is an excellent essay. It is that essay that wins you the money. Yeah, that's a perfect scholarship essay. Any essay that doesn't do that doesn't win you the money, is not the perfect one. So our aim is to write the perfect scholarship essay. And so, which approach is it? There's nothing as powerful as your story. Storytelling is actually the crux of any scholarship application that wins the money, because that's the fastest way to help the scholarship judges to connect with you, to connect with your unique circumstances, to connect with your story. So everybody has different approaches. Some people don't even know that it's all about storytelling. It's all about story selling in this case. Selling, that's selling your story, letting people know who you are, not just narrating your history. We will discuss about that as we go forward. So what types of scholarships have you applied? For the people that have applied, the common global scholarships that we know about is Commonwealth, Chevening, MasterCard, Erasmus, World Bank, and there's a whole lot that I've not mentioned. Obviously, there's no space to talk about all those ones. But the point I'm trying to bring out in this slide is that when we talk about scholarships, people just go one direction to the common and most popular scholarships. Those most popular scholarships sometimes might not be the best for you because everybody is looking at them, everybody's applying to them, and they have their own criteria. That criteria might not be unique to you. That is why you need to be able to unlock yourself, unlock your clarity, and also be able to unlock your own peculiar scholarship search strategies. That means you should have your own peculiar scholarship search strategies. There are some scholarships that you will only find on the web page of the university, of specific universities. There are some scholarships that you found on web page of specific organizations. There are many scholarships that you will not find on opportunity decks. There are scholarships that you will not find on Google, except you specifically look out for them, you know. But most people focus on that. That's one of the mistakes many people make. And hopefully, we will not be making this type of mistakes by the end of this training. So enough of the questions, but I couldn't help asking this last question. If you continue doing what you're doing currently, where do you think it will lead you and when? Yeah. When do you think that what you're doing currently, because the idea among many scholarship applicants is that, oh, let me apply for as many opportunities as possible. You know, if I apply for 1,000, at least I'll get one. But the idea is it is actually possible for you to apply for 1,000 scholarships and not get anything. It's all about what is your strategy? How are you, what method are you using? Is it a proven method? Is it something that works, or is it just something that you are trying out? Trial and error is just as you find out, because we will discuss some of the myths of scholarship applications and how wrong those myths are. Trial and error will not help you. That's the message. So scholarship rejection, or the one scholarship acceptance that you badly crave, because there are two outcomes. If you keep applying for the next 10, 15, 20 scholarships, there are only two outcomes that can come out of it. You either get it or you don't get it. And just one scholarship acceptance letter can actually change your life. So enough of the questions. Let's dive in. I'm sure a lot of us have been they can't wait to dive in. The idea is we need to do all this to pre-frame your mind, to let you know the importance of why you are here, and also what is possible, and the pitfalls that people make, so that you can avoid these pitfalls. That said, and like I said, our aim for this boot camp is to get you from where you are today to winning a globally prestigious scholarship in the fastest possible time. And then for me, the fastest possible time, the way I see it, is between 3 to 6 months. Meaning that if you apply yourself properly, at least by the end of this year, you should be talking of possibly preparing to apply for your visa, or maybe you're already talking about air tickets to somewhere, one very nice place in the global north, in the leading universities in the world. So that's the idea of this. The idea is we don't want you to just take the information. Of course, that's for people that are early career graduates, people that probably have finished their NYC or they're about to finish their NYC. The idea is not for you to take the information you are getting here and just take it and, no knowledge. If you don't use the knowledge, it doesn't make any difference. If you learn something and you don't apply it, you are just you're on a long team. So the idea is the aim of this bootcamp is to get you from where you are to winning a scholarship, because of course I intend to also use you as a case study in the near future to talk about and say, okay, this person took this course and made something of his or her life, and this is where she is now, this is where he is. So that's why you have to make the best of what you're learning here. So what will we cover today? Incidentally, we have covered a bit of even what we are going to cover today, but I'm still going to talk about it. I'm going to tell you, give you a framework for what we are going to discuss. I am very, very aware that we started late, and I'm aware that time is already moving fast. But still, let me just give us a bird's eye view. I call it the 30,000 foot view of scholarships. That means if you are in a skyscraper, or maybe you are in the sky or in a spaceship and you're looking down, what is a view of what scholarships are? These are the scholarship foundations. Because basically people hear these things, we assume we already know these things. When I even start talking about it, you would think you already know it. But the reality is we might not be on the same page, and some people don't actually know these things. They just assume they know it. So what is when we even talk about scholarships, what does it mean? I'm going to be briefly talking about all those things, and then I'll highlight some of the myths and mindsets that I've talked about earlier, and overcoming scholarship applicophobia. And then I will round it up by giving you a brief overview of what the unlock method is all about. We will not be delving deep into the unlock method until next week, because this session for today is just a taster session of what is to come. But we just want you to, we are starting today. I initially intended this to be like a 4-day straight, but I realized that most people don't have that time to commit every single day. That's why we're going to be having it just 1 hour, 30 minutes every Saturday for the whole of February. And if you follow me before the end of this bootcamp, I'm sure you will have a good idea of what you should be doing. And then, of course, going forward, I would also try to give you my time to see how I can, to spare time for you, to see how I can walk you, holding your hand through the scholarship process, and we'll see how we can make it a success for you in the shortest possible time. Yeah, so later in the training, we'll be talking about clarity, how to choose your program of best fit, and how to develop your own unique winning scholarship search strategies. And then in week 3, I'll be talking about how you can unlock your winning story. As you will find out, stories differ depending on the scholarship you're applying for. And I'll tell you how to focus your story and which angle to go about it, depending on the scholarship you are looking at. And then in week 4, we'll wrap it up with writing a perfect personal statement and your reference letters. As you find out, reference letters are very important components of scholarship applications, but people leave it to chance. They leave it to just, it's like you are leaving your fate in the hand of one grumpy old man that probably will just write that, okay, please give him the assistant needed. I know this one is actually a true story. This is a true story of a scholarship. And someone was applying for a scholarship and he spoke to his lecturer, and his lecturer said, yes, he's a good boy, please give him all the assistance needed. I don't know what the assistance is about, but getting the perfect reference letter also requires you to unlock the process. You don't just assume that because you are asking someone to write you a reference, he will give you a good reference letter. So we proceed. So at the end of this training, like I told you, the ultimate aim of the training is for you to land the winning scholarship offer in the shortest possible time. But what are the processes? What are the skills you learn? There's something I call the scholar avatar. It means, who am I as a scholarship applicant? What drives me? What is my vision? Knowing yourself. So Aristotle says, know yourself, know thyself. So you have to know your scholar avatar. Your scholar avatar is what will determine the kind of scholarships of best fit you should be applying for. And also it will help you to know how to find the best tailored opportunities for you, not for somebody else. It will also help you to dissect and decode scholarship adverts. By so doing, you position yourself as the best candidate with your story and with your USP. Anybody that has done marketing knows what a USP is. A USP is your unique selling proposition. That process is what I call the story selling process. You have to be able to sell yourself, and it's much more deeper than it sounds. But we'll talk about it in the course of this bootcamp. So the 30,000 view and fit view. Billions of dollars are in scholarships money are being awarded every year, and billions more don't get awarded because they are not finding the right candidates. So as much as we look at scholarships from a scarcity mentality, believing that, oh, the scholarship opportunities are very few, we also have to realize that there are many funding bodies that are not able to find students to fill scholarship opportunities because they are not getting the right applications. And if you look at it, you cannot tell me that the right people for the right scholarships don't exist in the world. The only problem is that the right people probably don't even know that those scholarships exist. The right people probably are not applying for those scholarships because they have scholarship applicophobia, or they believe that they are not good enough, or something is happening. There's a mismatch between opportunities and the people that deserve those opportunities. So that's one of the and there are scholarships available worldwide for all kinds of students to study in all kinds of schools. Don't get me wrong, there are scholarships that are only exclusive for for students that have the best of academic grades. Those kind of scholarships, if you don't have the best academic grades, don't apply to them. There are scholarships that are need-based scholarships that are looking for people depending on their background, which I'll be discussing later. If you don't have those issues, it might not be wise to apply for such scholarships because you will not get. Yeah, but one very crucial thing about all scholarships is that it is not unconditional. It's not as if you say, okay, anybody that comes will get. It's not everybody that comes that will get. In fact, less than the people that come will always get, So as with all things in life, you only qualify for some opportunities and not qualify for others. And as you find out, it is not wise to even keep applying for everything you see. It's best for you to niche yourself and know. So the key to winning scholarships in the fastest possible time is understanding two things: which scholarships are best suited for you and how to successfully apply for these selected scholarships. And that's the focus of what the Unlock method does, and that's what we'll be discussing in this bootcamp. So, but first things first, I said you have to be committed to make this work. You have to realize that there's no magic pill, no band-aid, or no sharp. Understand that there's a science behind winning scholarships that you can master and you can use to your advantage, which is everything we have been talking about. It just doesn't come it's not at face value. It's not just because you want it that you get it. There's a science. If you understand the science and art of it, and you try to apply the principles, in no time, you will also be winning your own scholarships. Because at the very basic, the people that get the scholarship, they don't have two heads. They are not better than you. In fact, if I tell you my GP when I graduated from school, of which I'll still tell you, is 3.82 out of 5 points. And I'm sure there are people in this place that have better GPs than me. In fact, the best student in my class did not get a scholarship. She was stuck. She didn't even get a job. It took like 8 years after we graduated before she ever got a scholarship. And I say it without being arrogant, that I was instrumental to her getting scholarship, even though she had a 4.6 out of 5 points CGPA. But I kept on disturbing her and saying, what are you doing? You have to do this. You have to do that. She didn't even believe in herself, even though she had a good CGPA. So it's not just about the CGPA. It's just about you understanding that this thing can work. This is how it can work. And then you are ready and committed to do it. So now, like I said, scholarship foundations, a lot of us would have known what this is all about. But for the benefit of people that probably don't have a very good idea, we still need to talk about it. So when we talk about scholarship, we are talking about free money for your educational goals. Free money. It could be undergraduate, master's, PhD, it could be research, it could be a short-term scholarship, it could be a travel grant, it could be so these are all types of different types of scholarships. Somebody or an organization is giving you free money for you to study. It is not a loan. It's not something you pay back. So when you get that scholarship, even though some scholarships are conditional, depending on where you are applying for. Some scholarships will tell you that you have to go back to your country and work for 2 years before you, but that's terms and conditions. So you need to find out what the terms and conditions are, what it requires of you to do, and ask yourself whether you can do it. If you don't do it, what is the way out? But that's after you have gotten the scholarship. So we are not jumping the gun here. We are talking about before, what you need to do. So scholarship is largely free money that you can use for your studies, for your career. Some scholarships even involve leadership trainings, things like the Chevening, Commonwealth, and MasterCard foundations. If you get that scholarship, you belong to an elite group of people, young leaders, that the effect of getting that scholarship does not end even after. If we are together, please let me know in the chats, because I don't know, I'm scared of talking to myself continuously. So, but the point is, that's what a scholarship is. Some come in different packages. Some are fully funded, some are partially funded, some involve even paying for your air ticket, your visa, and all those things. Some just pay only your school fees. And I can see that, I can see comments that, yes, people are following. So when we talk about global scholarships, pathway to global scholarships, what we are talking about, these are scholarships that are open to people from different parts of the world, probably also open to you studying in another different part of the world that different from where you were raised or the country you belong to. It's an international scholarship. It's usually more prestigious than a local or state scholarship. So that's just the differentiation, but it's still the same thing. It's free money for studies. That's what scholarship is about. Yeah. I can see that Dauda is raising his hand. Please, can you just comment in the chat? Let me know what your concerns are, because I don't want to be stopping in the middle of the presentation. I just want to finish my presentation and then we can take questions. So that's what a global scholarship is all about. So having said that, so like I said, I've talked about full or partial scholarships. And then one thing you need to also know about is the merit-based versus needs-based scholarship. The merit-based scholarship are usually scholarships that are not just based on the fact that you need it. They don't care whether you can afford it or you cannot afford it. All they care about is, do you deserve it? And deserving that scholarship could be based on your academic grades. It could also be based on your leadership or community development efforts. So when you say merit-based, people shy away. Many people think that merit-based is just merit-based is just about your transcript or your grades. And I found that many people that have maybe average grades or below average or even slightly above average that are not excellent, they tend to think that because that they see that as a liability. It's one of the common myths that we'll discuss. But to be honest, there are many ways you can use a second class transcript to put in a first class application, scholarship application, and position yourself for the money. That's which some of those hacks is what I'll be discussing with you in this training. So let me move forward. I'm trying to look for my cursor. So what are the hurdles you need to overcome for any scholarship application? For any scholarship application, the number one hurdle is yourself, your mind, limiting beliefs in your head that tell you that you cannot achieve this. That's the first one. Number two, grades are also important. Like I said, at least you should have above average grades, because whether we like it or not, irrespective of what has happened, one indicator of how best you do in your next endeavor is how you did in the last one. So they want to know, how did you do in the last one? That's why they are concerned about your grades. And some scholarships, as we found out, are more concerned about your grades than others. If you know that you don't have a strong grade, you might not be focusing on scholarships that are very grade dependent. And of course, whether you have the best of grades or you don't have, writing excellent essays and telling your story in the best possible way, and also getting the right people to tell your story the way you want to be represented, that's in terms of your reference and recommendation, will go a long way in helping you. So 1, 2, 3 of scholarship application is something you should have in the back of your mind. Any other thing they tell you is, they are overstating the obvious. The main thing is overcome your mind, overcome the limitations of your grades, the limitations or advantages of your grades, and then position yourself properly through your story, making sure you are in charge of your story, not allowing other people to tell your story for you. So, basic scholarship requirements. At this point, it is clear to all of us that, of course, they will want to know your academic transcripts. What did you do in the last education adventure that you undertook? What were your grades? So that means the first thing you need to do as you're graduating from university is to apply for your transcripts. If you are talking about scholarships and you have not applied for your transcript, or you don't have a copy of your transcripts, I think you are not yet ready to apply for a scholarship. So if you haven't done that, I think you should do that. And if you are still running up your undergraduate, the first thing you need to do, as soon as you are sure that Senate has passed your results, is to apply for your scholarship, your transcript, because it will go a long way. As we all know, the Nigerian system is filled with a lot of inadequacies, and it might take so long for you to get your transcript. Some schools, it costs a lot of money to get their transcript. So if you don't, and then the process is long. So maybe if you have a deadline that is approaching and you don't have your transcript yet, it might be a hindrance for you. So that's why you need to start early. Of course, we have talked about scholarship essays, talked a bit about reference letters. And another thing I have not mentioned so far is the language proficiency test. So there are things like, there's something called English language proficiency test. Mostly if you are going to study in English speaking countries, they want you to write the English language proficiency test, which is either the IELTS, International English Language Testing System, or the TOEFL, Test of English as a Foreign Language. These are all formalities, but it's a necessity. So it's something you should plan to write if you don't have. We find that recently most countries are now requesting for IELTS rather than TOEFL. A few years back, it was more of TOEFL than IELTS, but since the dynamics have changed in the last few years, IELTS is what you should be thinking of writing if you want to study in an English-speaking country. That said, there are also other countries like France that want you to write their French language test. That's if you want to study in French. But of course, you have to be proficient. So if you know that you have a specific school you want to go to in a specific country that doesn't speak English, you might be better off learning the language and planning to write the test. And then in addition, some countries like the North American countries, institutions in those countries also request for an additional test, which is known as the Graduate Record Exam, the GRE. And the GRE is mostly for most courses, but management-based and business-based courses, which is not really our concern here, is usually they request for a test known as GMAT. So you have to prepare. So the overall story is that in addition to your academic grades, in addition to the scholarship essays and the letters, you also have some additional tests that you might want to write, depending on which scholarship you are applying for. That's why I said it's all about the scholarship. Some people, when they say, okay, some people waste a lot of money because they go and get requirements that don't have anything to do with the scholarship they are applying for. Because you heard that somebody was applying for scholarship and he wrote GRE, does not mean you should write GRE, depending on where you are applying. So if you know yourself, you know where you are applying, you know the requirements, you'll be able to know the kind of test you need to write to position yourself better for the opportunities ahead. So when we talk about mindsets or limiting beliefs, today I'm just going to be focusing a bit more about limiting beliefs because there's not much time, and the plan for this week is just to give you an overview And one of the mindset, the first thing I need to mention when it comes to mindset is, this quote that says, if you think you can, you are right. If you think you can't, you are still right. You know, a lot of the things that hold many scholarship applicants back is in their head, like I told you. In my story about my student earlier, that everybody, the whole students in the University of Abuja, second and third year, did not believe they could win a scholarship. Only one person believed he could win, or maybe he didn't really believe, but he decided to try it out. And he came up to me and he got somebody that gave him the guidance, and he was able to win a $5,000 scholarship. That was 2 years ago, and that was just as a 200 level student. So if you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you are still right. You can't. So it's all about what you have in your head. And that's why the first thing I started with is to tell you that this is possible. In fact, this is what you should be doing. Even if you have the money to study abroad with your father's money or your inheritance, I think you should use it for something else. Rather, focus on, at best, if you cannot get a fully funded scholarship, I think you can get at least a partial scholarship or even a tuition-free scholarship. So these are things you need to overcome your limiting beliefs. And then you also have to stay very far away from myths, the myths of scholarships. People tell you, oh, scholarship is very rare, difficult to win. So it stays in your subconscious that scholarships are rare and difficult to win. And because of that, you never decide. Sometimes you always stay in that realm of phobia of applying, or frustration, or maybe even when you are applying, you already believe you will not win. So you are applying to fulfill all righteousness. And that usually holds people back. Another myth is that, okay, this goes in line with what we have already said, that it is hard and complicated. You can't figure it out. So just be shooting in the dark. Shooting in the dark will not help you. Applying for 1,000 scholarships is not a wise thing to do. Rather, niching down your scholarships, understanding the process, knowing that this is a scientific process and it is possible. It is not hard. Once you figure it out, there's a formula for how you should tell your story. And we'll be discussing about ancient storytelling formulas and how these storytelling formulas have always worked. If we look at even all movies that win Academy Awards, box office hits, there's always a pattern to all their stories. There's a way they set up their story. And if you learn how to tell stories, unfortunately, they don't teach us how to tell stories in vet school. They don't teach us how to tell stories in medical school. And so you find out that we are at a deficit because we don't know how to set up our story to work. So like I said, this storytelling is just one aspect of selling your one aspect that you can need to understand, the science of scholarship application. It is a science, or at best an art. It is not a try your luck and try and error. Anybody that you know that wants scholarships, whether they like it or not, there's a way they use this formula, whether they knew it or they did not know it. Some people, it takes them years to know, but you have the opportunity to actually shortcut the system by learning from somebody, and somebody that has done it, somebody that's helped other people to do it. So scholarship is not hard. It is not complicated. It is something you can figure out, and you will figure out. So scholarships, many Nigerians say this is not a PTDF scholarship. This is not a man no man local government scholarship or state bursary. This is international global scholarship. So it is not a man no man. Nobody cares about who you are. A lot of the scholarships are assessed on a blind review basis, and it's not one person that assesses them. When I say blind review, it means they remove every identifier from knowing who the person is. It's later, maybe in some cases, they might want to represent gender. So they might say, okay, these are female, maybe we want female representation of up to 50%. So they can say, okay, female, male, they will separate them so that they will choose equal number. That's the only consideration, but they don't want to know who you are when they're applying for scholarship. These are globally prestigious scholarship opportunities. So remove any aspect of man, no man from it. I will not even advise you to apply for a scholarship that puts you at a disadvantage because of your state, your sexual orientation, or your religion or anything. No, that's not what I'm looking at. I'm looking at scholarships that if you qualify, you stand a chance of helping yourself to win that scholarship using a tested and trusted method. Thank you. So another myth is winning a scholarship is only for best graduating students. If you have listened up to this point, if you have participated up to this point, you will know that winning a scholarship is not only for best graduating students, because I told you the story of my best graduating student in my set. She didn't get a scholarship. She didn't get a job for 8 years until I was even instrumental in her getting the scholarship, the first scholarship she ever got. And for the first time she traveled out of the country, I was instrumental in that. Uh-huh. So that myth is a lie. Don't remove your mind from it. Winning a scholarship is not only for the best. Even if you are not the best student, there are ways you can submit a first class application with a second class transcript. So merit based versus need based. This is where we need to talk about. I've mentioned it earlier, but now why I'm talking about it now is to tell you that some scholarships, even though, yeah, merit based, but whether merit based or need based, it's always a good idea to demonstrate need. So when you're talking about how you deserve this scholarship, you also should be talking about how you need this scholarship. Letting them know that this scholarship means a lot to you. Because a lot of times they will ask you why. Why do you think you qualify for this scholarship? Why do you think you deserve this scholarship? Why do you need this scholarship? All those kind of questions. So there's something I call the underdog approach. I would discuss more about that in future classes. And these are not things you will find in Google. The underdog approach is about how you can present yourself as an underdog, that kind of thing. Just imagine a David to a Goliath. That story. It's an interesting story. When you position yourself as the underdog, you know, even though you still need you have all it takes, but you need it. It's different from someone that has all it takes and it did not demonstrate need. I will discuss more about this later so that we can have a better picture of it. So I've talked about how you can overcome scholarship applicophobia, and that's the urge to resist applying for scholarships. It's about, first of all, it begins with why are you applying to this scholarship? Why do you want to study abroad? How it looks like a basic question, but it's not basic because many of us find ourselves in a bandwagon of saying, okay, people are doing this, let me do. So you just assume that is the way out. You have never really asked yourself why. Or, if you itemize those things on a paper, it does a lot of things for you. It clarifies what you want for you. It shows you a vision of where you see yourself. And then once you crystallize that vision in your head, it becomes real for you. And so when you are applying and they're telling you write a personal statement, it doesn't look like work because you know why you are doing what you are doing. So why do you want to apply for a scholarship? Begin with the end in mind. This formula is this process, or this strategy is one strategy that I got from Stephen Covey, that his book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, when he talked about beginning with the end in mind. When you imagine yourself resuming on the first day at Oxford, Harvard, or the University of Manchester, or you imagine yourself in class participating. Imagine yourself on graduation day. You are graduating from a prestigious institution, fully funded on scholarship. You have made your parents proud. And immediately before you have finished school, you have gotten a job opportunity in the in food and agricultural organization. They are waiting for you to resume in Rome, Italy. Your life is about to begin. Your future is unrolling right in front of your eyes. That is the power of a globally prestigious scholarship application. So begin with end in mind. While you're applying, also you take time away from to do other things. You don't keep dwelling on the rejections even when they come. You allow every no to fuel you. There's something I always do. I go back to look at my emails. I read my rejection letters. Even when I knew that what I was doing was the right thing and it wasn't working, I went back, read my rejection letters, find out do a postmortem, find out what I was doing wrong, and then I apply again. I look for another opportunity that I feel I'm suited for, and I apply. And then that's how it has been going. That has been my journey. So that's how you can overcome scholarship applicophobia. So now the method I've been talking about all day has been the unlock method. So what is unlock method? There are very crucial things you need to unlock. The first thing you need to unlock is your mind. You unlock your mind by unlocking your why. Going deep, diving deep to ask yourself, what are my motivations? And this might look like a general thing. Like I said, it looks common, it looks so simple, but many of us don't do it. Can you write out 50 reasons why you want to study abroad on scholarship? It might look like a fruitless exercise, but it engraves on your subconscious why you want to do this. And this can also be material for you when your next scholarship application comes. You have already stressed your mind to do the deep things, because you find out as you're writing this, you find out that the first things you write are the obvious things. Then as you continue, by the time you get to 10 reasons, you are forcing yourself to think about the deeper things, which might turn out to be the most important things. You are now writing it down. You are forcing yourself to write the deep things. You keep writing, you don't stop. What you find out as you continue doing this is that the real unfettered reasons that mean life and death, that mean success or failure, that mean dignity or indignity, that's the point where the thing will start coming out for you. You start hearing, yes, your inner mind is talking to you and telling you why you need to do this. You are unlocking, you are allowing your inner self to talk. You are knowing yourself more and more. I'll talk a bit more about this, but generally, I think that's the idea. First of all, you unlock your why. And then I said, unlocking your mind is the key to not giving up. Your why will always drive you. Without drive, there's no achievement. Your why helps you to see clearly. A globally prestigious scholarship is your ticket to changing your life, your family's life, and the world at large. So something as important as that should not be taken lightly, because especially as things are turning out today, that admission to study in a leading global university on scholarship might be the thing that will change your life forever. Right now in the UK, because of Brexit issues, they are changing their immigration policies. If you finish with a master's now in the UK, you get 2 years post-study work visa. And I'm not saying this because I'm encouraging people to run away, but the point is, you have your life to live. You can choose where your life, and even if you choose to be in Nigeria, a good degree from a very good university will also give you a lot of options. Yeah, so it's something you should consider, and it's something you should ponder about. The problem is most people don't ponder about it, so they don't unlock that inner reason, that real reason why they should make the decision. That's why they always dilly-dally. So in the process of unlocking your why, clarity will come. You unlock clarity. Clarity will help you to lay the right groundwork for a successful scholarship search and application. Which type of scholarship? You will be the one now choosing which type of scholarship is ideal for me. Not this one that anything you see on opportunity decks you want to apply. You apply for this, you apply for that, you wear yourself out. At the end of the day, you find out that it's not working for you. Yeah, so unlocking clarity is very, very key. Unlock your story and USP, your unique selling proposition. At the fundamental of this whole process, everything you are doing, unlocking your why, or unlocking clarity is because you want to unlock your real story. If you don't know yourself better, you cannot tell your story better. And if you allow people to tell your story for you, they will tell it by default. And whatever they say, you will not be in the room to defend yourself. So you should think deep. Unlocking your story is diving deep into your real story to unveil the story behind the story, not just narrating history. One thing I found out is that most personal statements, most Nigerian, and it was on Twitter the other day, most Nigerian students, or Nigerian applicants, they tell the same version of the same story in all personal statements. So when you read a Nigerian personal statement, a Canadian professor was complaining the last time that all the personal statements they read from Nigeria, it reads the same. It's not plagiarism. It's not as if they are telling themselves that this is what you should be writing. The reality is, by default, we just write the same old crap, and the same old crap does not stand you out. The thing is, every single person has a magic that is within him that no one else has. Every single person, by virtue of their story, their upbringing, their experiences, has a narrative that is peculiar to them. If you don't seek from that uniqueness and you allow yourself to drink from the stream of generality, you will be the same as the next person. Your application will not stand out. So you need to wake up and find out that. So using this unlock method, you can unlock your story, unlock your USP, and you use a framework that has been used and proven to be working by even the best storytellers in the world, the Hollywood directors, and even ancient stories and myths. They always have this same framework of what a story should look like. You need to understand the structure of story so that you can sell your story better. I don't know if you are probably thinking whether you are in a literature class. Don't think too much. This story we are talking about is just story that will help you to tell your stories better, irrespective of whether you think you are Wole Soyinka or you are not. It's just a framework, a formula. And in fact, the simpler language you use, the better for you. Because this idea of using big words in personal statement, it doesn't help anybody. If you don't make the life of the person reading you easier to read, you make it worse for him. I was planning to end this thing by 1 hour 30 minutes, but I can see that I'm just 2 minutes in and we have not taken questions. So let me move very fast now. So by unlocking your story, you're also unlocking your achievements. You're unlocking your achievements. The things you've done that you never really thought much of that can make a difference to your scholarship application. I've made this point earlier. I say stop reproducing the same statement as others. Just stop it already. That's what most Nigerians do. You know, I am motivated to apply for this program because you know, I think it will be a privilege for me to attend this program because that's all crap. So by unlocking your achievements, you can also unlock your narrative. You are taking control of and shaping how you want to be represented, and unlocking the right people that will speak your truths. That means looking for the right referees. The right referees. It's not everybody that is qualified to be a referee, and then even if they are qualified, how do you guide them towards the kind of story you want them to tell in their personal statement? People that write 1 or 2 lines in a personal statement are not the right people you should be meeting. In fact, anybody that cannot give a detailed discussion and tell a very good story about you should be somebody you should run away from. Never ever. Don't just randomly look for a referee. So we'll learn that. So in summary, what is this 30,000 feet view of winning scholarships all about? It's about niching your scholarship application efforts. It's about unlocking hidden opportunities by learning how to search tailor-made opportunities. But it's about looking deep within so that you can resist the urge to stop when you are very close to winning. And even though you don't know about it, unlocking your story, unlocking your unique advantage, unlocking your experiences that position you as the best candidate to win the the scholarship. So in conclusion, I'd like to remind all of us that your study abroad dream starts here and now. And this year, if you believe it, is your year to make it happen. It's all left to you to decide how you want the journey to be. Thank you very much. So I'll now open the floor for any questions and comments, and I'd like to hear your voice because I've been talking for too long. I'm hoping that I'm not talking to myself. Thank you. I'll stop the share now. Hello. Are we still together? Hello?
Yeah, we are here.
Okay, thank you. Can we get questions, please? I think Dauda was trying to ask questions earlier. Can I get questions or comments?
Okay. Yes. Sorry. My initial question was the community you were talking about for scholarships like Chevening and is it Commonwealth? Yeah. Is it? Can you establish a professional association under the platform, or is just scholarship based association that okay?
There's a
Like
lot of
alumni
noise in your background anyway, but
yeah.
yeah.
Yes. There is noise, but I'm just going to settle in just 1 minute. Give me a minute.
Okay, let me just respond to the question I think you asked
Okay.
about community. The idea is for every scholar, most scholarships that involve a leadership component, they try to, like a Commonwealth now, there's usually an alumni after the scholarship, but even before the scholarship, they try to encourage leadership and community development activities among all their scholars. So even when you are studying, if you're a Commonwealth scholar in the UK universities now, they try to arrange programs where you guys will meet, interact with each other. So it's not really a professional based meeting. It's just about, okay, we are all Commonwealth scholars. You know, if you even notice this Chevening thing, everybody is posting on the Twitter, you know, I am Chevening, chosen for Chevening, I cannot keep calm. You know, it's a way of, you know, identifying that Chevening scholar identity from beginning, even before they start meeting themselves. So if you get a scholarship now, you find out the first thing is they probably will even send emails to all of you to form WhatsApp groups where you can begin the conversation. You know, maybe before the end of your scholarship, they expect you to achieve one or two things in terms of community development or leadership. Some scholarships even give you resources to achieve some things like grants if you are interested, you know. So that's just what I was talking about, basically.
Okay.
It's not really a
Okay.
professional, but if it's a professional based scholarship, it can include all those things. I like to hear from Miracle, and I want to hear from everybody at least. So I'm asking everybody to unmute.
Sorry. For me, one more question.
Okay,
What would you say about scholarships that are out of line for your profession? For example, like my point actually is it not a waste of time to be applying for example, if they are calling for a digital something and you're probably maybe a dentist, yes, you're still in medical line or something. So what would you say about applying for scholarships like that?
Yeah, so
They are not in line with your profession, but then yeah, maybe I don't know what you want to say about that.
So if I got you right, I feel it's not really about, you should not allow yourself to be limited by the fact that you are a dentist or you are a vet. There are scholarships that come up. If you are, what really matters is your interest. Are you interested in this scholarship? Do you see yourself? That's why I said it's about knowing yourself. If you know yourself and you know the direction you want to go, the world might be seeing you that you are a vet. Maybe going forward, you are thinking about climate change. Maybe the vet might be a part of it, of your climate change journey, but you're focused about climate change. You are not really focused about practicing as a vet. So you can apply for those scholarships. It doesn't matter. What really matters is, are you motivated in that direction? Can you weave your story around? That's why the story is a framework. You need to be able to weave that story around what you want to do, to make it count, because you are not the one judging yourself. It's the people that are reading. Does it make sense? If you weave the story around, probably maybe since when you were in university, you have been working with tech people and you are more interested in tech, even though you are a vet, matters less. So this scholarship, this training is not limited to say, okay, it's only vet kind of, we might use vet examples, but it's just like a gateway to achieving your dreams. If your dreams involves further study in leading global universities. So it's not limited to, say, veterinary opportunities, but you can be a vet and you want to use animal assisted therapy to improve the world using tech, a mixture of tech and ASST or something like that. You might be interested in climate change, a lot of things. But the important component is there is an eligibility criteria. They want to know, are you eligible for the scholarship you're applying? And can you weave a story out of this that makes sense, that positions you as the best candidate for the job? That's, once you are able to answer these questions in the affirmative, I think you are good to go to win that scholarship. So I'd like to hear from Miracle now, because people are not talking. I'm pointing them out. Is Miracle still with us? Dauda, can you please mute yourself?
I'm here, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I want to hear from you.
The thing is that I've not really applied for scholarships before, because I find out that my interest is actually not always included. So I'm not one of those that will apply for a 1,000,001 scholarship just because it's available. So the problem is I'm finding it difficult to get a particular or my interest, if that's what I should say.
Okay.
So I'm hoping to learn from this class and to be
Okay.
able to target what I'm looking for.
Okay. So first of all, I'm going to ask you what that interest is, if you mind sharing. But before then, what has been your experience so far for today with the training?
It's been, the introductory class was great. It's great. So I'm hoping to learn more. At least I've been enlightened today.
Okay. So your colleague, your friend that is with you, does she want to say one or two things?
No, she has gone. She's closed for work already.
Okay.
I'm still at work.
Okay. So may I ask you what your area of interest is, if you don't mind discussing with us?
Small animal medicine.
Okay, small animal medicine. So you're
Yeah.
actually looking for a scholarship in small animal medicine.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. We'll discuss further, and of course, you also have the benefit of one-on-one one-on-one. What do I call it? Consultation.
Consultation.
So
Yeah.
we can unwrap that and unpack it further in further communications. Okay, so thank you,
Thank
and
you.
I also want to hear from Salahu Nasiru.
Hello, sir. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Yeah, so, I just wanted to say I was diagnosed and also cured in just one session. I didn't know there was a name for my condition actually. That's applicophobia. So I'm actually really hopeful and try to reiterate my commitment to the program. Yeah.
Okay, great. And if anybody else wants to talk, Fatima, I can see you are there. If you want to talk, if you have anything to add. Okay, apparently Fatima is not here or she's busy. In any case,
I'm here.
okay, Fatima.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can
Good
hear you.
evening, everybody.
I can hear you. Good evening.
I've never actually applied for scholarship before, but
Okay.
I'm really looking forward to using everything you have said, to have like a platelet to follow, something like um because it's overwhelming actually, but
Okay.
the way you are breaking it down, I think it's more interesting for me now, or it's more like how would I say, I'm not so scared of it again. So I'm actually looking forward to
Okay.
following everything you're saying. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you. So that's interesting. It's been nice. I don't know if Shakira has anything to say so far. At least we're getting good comments.
Um, Thanks for the very very great um how would I put it? Sorry, there's a child distracting me here.
Mm,
Yeah. So I haven't actually personally applied for a scholarship because of course, like you said, the fear of maybe having not a high enough grade to be able to apply.
mm,
And of course, like Fatima said, the overwhelming nature of everything because in most scholarships it's like okay, a first class and maybe there are a lot of requirements. So the applicaphobia just gets to you and you're like, you know what? I'm not the one they're looking for. But with what you've said about, I'm looking forward to hearing more about how maybe people with maybe um, average to lower grades might be able to um, break into scholarship applications, having a niche out for yourself, and not just being afraid because it's mainly for the high flyers. So I'm looking forward to that.
mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's my.
thank you. Thank you so much for your comments. It's actually a very good one. And thank you to everybody that's spoken. Yeah, so going further, we are going to dive deeper into the concepts we talked about today. Today was just like a bird's eye view to give you, but we're going in detailed into the different topics and seeing how we can actually apply it to our situations. So you can, it's actually possible for you to position yourself knowing whatever must have been your disadvantage. The idea is to downplay your disadvantage, focus on your strengths, tell a story around it, and make that story connect to the funding body or the person reading your application so that you can be considered the best candidate for the job, you know. So, but it all takes, it's not as if it's everything we have discussed today is to demystify the myths, demystify the scholarship, the science of scholarship application. But at the same time, like I also alluded to, it's not always a magic bullet. So if sometimes you try and it doesn't work, it doesn't mean that the principles are not working. It just means that you have to keep trying and tweaking one or two things. And with consistent efforts, you will most likely be able to achieve your goals in the shortest possible time. So on this note, I want to thank you all for investing in yourself. In fact, it's not just about investing money, it's about investing your time. Because there are people that paid for this program that didn't show up today. A lot of people paid, a number of people paid, but they did not show up. So for people that paid and still show up, you have made the investment of time and investment of money. And on that note, I really want to congratulate you because people that pay are expected to pay attention, but it's not always the case. So thank you very much. On this note, I'm going to be calling it a day and hoping to meet you by this time next week. That's 4 p.m. GMT. And hopefully next week we will not have the challenge we had today. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thank you
Have a
too.
good night.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.